This meeting is being recorded.
The DuPage County Zoning Hearing Officer Program. My name is Robert Carthall. I'm the zoning hearing officer as opposed to the program. And today is October 16, 2024. It's 2:30 and we've just begun our hearing. So the meeting is now called to order. I understand there is no public comment to be offered at the meeting that is not related to the hearing that we have before us. And I further understand there are no minutes to be approved. So now I can call the sessions petition, which is petition 24065. This is a request for variation to reduce the required lot size for 2 lots serviced with water and sewer from the required 15,000 square feet each to approximately 8440 for lot 1 and 8440 for lot 2. Secondly, a variation to reduce the required lot width for a corner lot, lot number 1, serviced with water and sewer from the required 125 feet to approximately 105.5 feet. And the third request is variation to increase the FAR permitted on lot 1 from permitted 0.3, approximately 2,531 square feet total, to approximately 0.42, which is 2,912 square feet for an existing house and 600 square feet for a new detached garage. The matter is a York Township case. The underlying zoning is R3. It's about a 0.38 acre lot. And the matter was published in the Daily Herald on October 1, 2024. I have no comments or substantive remarks from any of the authorities to whom we've circulated the petition. And then let's go over exhibits. What do I have here? Survey and a site plan. Where are they? I have a plat of survey, which is 2024. And then I have a site plan showing the proposed garage and a subdivision of the lots, which is exhibit number 2. May I ask everyone who's going to make a statement in this case or the petitioner for the presentation to raise your hand and be sworn in?
We solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony and evidence you're about to give at this time shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I didn't see if they were sworn in. Did they respond?
Yes, they raised their hand.
Okay, I guess you guys are neighbors, so I'll ask you to identify yourselves when it's time for public comment, which occurs after the petitioner's presentation. And I'll ask you, sir, to identify yourself now, spell your last name, and give us your address.
I'm David Sessions, Sessions. My address is 15W375 Concord Street in Elmhurst.
Okay. Do you have any exhibits other than the 2 that I mentioned?
The only other thing that may be beneficial is this, just showing that the other 3 corners on this block have already split in the past. So we're the last one that has not split.
Okay, what is this?
It's just the overmap properties.
Where'd you get this map?
Google.
All right, I'll take it as petitioner's exhibit number 3. God help us if we didn't have Google, although Google Maps in my career would never have done an appropriate exhibit. I do have some aerials that are part of the staff record and a quarter section map. That's sort of the official stuff. But go right ahead, sir, and make your case.
We're just requesting to do this to be consistent with the other 4 properties on the block.
That's not your case. Is that all you have to say?
I guess I'm not sure what else would be required.
To present a zoning case for variations.
Well, the
Right, so
variation, the
very
variations would be because the house that's there is already too large for the proposed lot size. And then the 600 feet for the garage would be basically moving the existing garage.
Okay,
over
you have to
the
prove
lot.
up 3 variation requests.
Okay.
So let's start with number 1. Reduce required lot size for 2 lots serviced with water and sewer. Why should we do that? How does it conform to the standards for variation? And what is the underlying hardship, unique circumstance, or practical difficulty, which does not include economic considerations for you? That, and I'm just telling you, a lot of times people tell me, well, you know, I want to maximize the economics of a lot, but that
Sure,
doesn't
that's
count.
not, that wouldn't even be in my presentation, so that's fine. The variance is to reduce the lot width, or because, again, if the lot is split in half, it would be 105 feet on each front. And then. Yeah, I mean, it's basically just stating that if this lot were split in half, those would be the sizes.
But that presumes that it's split in half. I mean, I understand the math. It's a pretty serious request. And I can't really, you know, make your case for you. You live at this property?
Yes, I do.
How long have you lived there?
We've owned this property about 1.5 years.
And did you buy it with the thought of subdividing it and building a second lot or
No,
building a
we-
second house?
No,
If this is granted, what are you gonna do with the additional lot?
unknown at this point in time. We may build on it, we may build for a family member, we may sell it, we don't know at this point in time. But any of those things would require 2 lots.
How did you get this idea to come here?
Again, because the other lots in the neighborhood have already done this. We're the only one on the block that hasn't been split.
Well, I don't have any information. I got your map, but I don't have any information about FAR or you know, setbacks or whatever. I don't know if the other lots are serviced by public utilities or private well and septic. Do you?
They're serviced by public utilities.
Water and sewer?
Yes.
Has there been any effort to do a pre-annexation agreement? Who lives there?
Me and my wife, my 2 kids.
Okay. Are you done?
Yeah.
You know, this is woefully inadequate to sort of make a record in order to grant this. How about if I hear from the neighbors? You guys have anything you want to add or make any statement? Okay, well, unmute.
Oh, okay, I
So,
get,
Mrs. Hoffman, I see that you're speaking, but we,
Okay, I think I did it now.
okay, so you were,
Okay.
just for the record, you were sworn in?
Yes, I raised my hand. Yes, Kathy
And-
Hoffman. My
F-F-M-A-N-N,
correct.
and your address?
15W 310 Concord Street.
How far is that from,
I'm really not sure. I'm like 2 houses around the corner, maybe
okay,
2.
well, that gives me an idea.
So I'm
uh,
across the street. My
Okay.
house is on Concord Street.
And
But-
do you support or oppose the petition, or do you just want to make a statement?
You know, I'm the reason I'm opposing is because I do not, that house, that land has been in that area. We always got a lot of water. And that lot specifically gets a lot of water. And where's that water now gonna go? Is it gonna go my way? If they split the lot and build, because who knows what's gonna happen then? And I actually do not think all the lots that are on corners have been subdivided. Some of them are still whole, like they weren't subdivided into that. The one across from you was a mom and her, then she did it for her daughter. That's kitty corner on that. What is it, Fillmore? Or Harvard, maybe, Harvard and Poplar. So my issue is just the water. I don't want to be getting it redirected into my way, because it gets a lot of water that way.
Okay, when was the, of the 4 lots on the exact corner, one of them has previously been subdivided. Do you know when that occurred?
No, and I lived there for maybe 15 years up the street. I moved there when my son was 5, almost 20, man, 20, sorry. And those were done before I was there.
Okay. Do you have anything else you want to add?
No, that is it. I just don't want the water by me. I mean, I don't know, if you take land away and build a house, what do you do? And I thought he already stated his house was too big for the lot he already has. How do you make it smaller?
Well, it's too big for a split lot. It's not too big for the lot that it's on. So,
Okay, yeah, it's too big for. Nope, that is all I have.
Okay, thank you. And Mr. John, any remarks?
I was also sworn in, and that if that lot were to be subdivided, it's generally for the purpose of maybe building another additional structure there. It would be blocking my view of the street, also blocking. I do a lot of gardening at my home, and it's also blocking a lot, kind of some sunlight here. So I'm also worried about the water too. Anytime you build, and you're now building double the efficacy of the lot when it was originally used. I'm opposing this because that water, where is it going to go? It's my land, because of the 3 new construction houses behind me is already wet, like it's like swampland. So if another home comes over there and they build, and it's going to be even more water, and I have to bring in soil. I have additional costs that I'm incurring now, and it's not acceptable. I oppose this completely. I don't think the owners are prepared well enough to make their statement either. I've lived there since 2011. I don't want the view being blocked. I don't want the water problems. And I already have water problems in the backyard over there. I also believe it's potentially decreasing the value of my property too. I'm very opposed to this. I don't
Okay,
want this to go through.
Tell me your address and tell me where you are in relation to this parcel.
So my address is 15W417 Concord Street. And my backyard looks directly at that lot and to the street. And it's blocked. If a structure were to resurrect there, it would block my view to the street. It would create water problems, and then also direct sunlight to my lot. And I also believe it'll decrease the value of the surrounding properties by allowing for 2 houses to be built on the lot. The reason why I bought that house was for the lot, and I have an 80 wide by 210 deep lot. So I'm strongly opposed to the idea of the lot being subdivided.
Okay, your backyard butts up against the backyard of this property. Is that what I understand?
No, it's 2 houses away. So
No.
there's a house in between, and then there's my house. After that, it's the 3rd one from his. But like my backyard backs up, so usually the runoff of the water goes into the back and like, like it's, it could create a lot of water issues. And I've had issues with the other neighbors and I haven't said anything, but those were houses that were the traditional size lots. But now, this new issue is, it could cause more damage to my property and I think it'll affect my ability to enjoy my property.
Right, you've stated several reasons. One of those was that it would disturb your view across the land. Property owners don't have a legal entitlement to a view across an adjoining property unless there's some safety issue or something that you want to add to that. I don't know. It doesn't seem that there would be.
Yeah, no,
Could be other reasons.
yeah, I mean, like, we all bought it I bought my property with the intention that all the lots had the same, um, depth on the land, right? So,
So your point is a uniformity, not a view across the
yeah,
land.
yeah, uniformity, that's correct, yeah.
Okay,
I think
all
you,
right,
but
thank
I'm
you.
not professional here, so.
All right, I'm gonna let Mr. Sessions respond to those comments and make any concluding statements that you care to make, sir.
The only thing I would say is the water concern is definitely an issue. It's actually a huge concern of mine too, and part of actually moving our garage, we were going to put in better drainage. To hopefully alleviate the water concerns, at least on the lot that our existing house is on.
Okay.
As for conformity, I understand the concern, but I also, again, the 4 lots on my street have already been split, so I could make the same counter argument that I'd be conforming with what's there.
When were they split?
I don't know, all of them. I'm pretty sure the one directly across from me was split in the late 90s or
You mean on
early
the other side of the
2000s,
street?
on the other side of Poplar, yep. I do not know about the 2 south of me.
Okay. Well, I'll try to find out whether they were split as a result of zoning relief. I don't recall that. But
Yeah, I've had trouble finding any details about those splits. I looked.
okay. Anything else? Do you have anything else you want to add?
No, I'm nothing.
Nothing else for me.
All right, to be entirely fair to you, there are 7 conditions stated in the ordinance for variation requests, plus the requirement that you show a hardship, unique circumstance, or practical difficulty. I understand the circumstances well enough to make a determination as to whether or not you've satisfied the 7 requirements. But I'm not comfortable that you have satisfied the hardship requirement. Uniformity, I don't think there's enough in the record to rely on this record to demonstrate that uniformity constitutes a hardship, unique circumstance. It certainly is not a practical difficulty. So I'm willing to do either of one of 2 things. Continue this case for additional evidence to be submitted, or simply keep the written record open for you to submit a letter, a simple letter stating what you believe the hardship and unique circumstance to be. Do you want a new hearing, or do you want to just create a deadline for you to submit a letter?
Why don't we do that? That way I have some time to do some research again. I'd love to get some details about these previous splits and kind of,
Okay,
I honestly came in here not knowing what to expect or really had
Right.
very little to go off of, so. That's
Okay.
fair.
well, I'm not one that says you need a lawyer, but this is, I mean, there's a lot of technical stuff here.
I actually had several lawyers tell me it wasn't worth their time. It was too
Oh,
small
yeah.
of a case, so,
Really?
yeah. That is what they, I had 3 different attorneys on
Boy, I'd like to know who they are.
it. Would you? I can-
Just for the record, I attended a continuing legal education seminar a couple of weeks ago to talk about real estate attorneys and the practice of real estate law, given some changes that are going on. One very clear message was, things are changing. All of you real estate lawyers need to consider alternatives, such as developing an expertise in zoning, because there is a crying need for zoning lawyers, and you can make a lot of money.
That's,
That's,
I think that's what I've run up against.
you just got a free continuing legal education message. I'm sorry to fuss about this. That's now a part of a public record, which is crazy, but I did it anyway. So I'll give, what do you need, a month?
Yeah, that's fine. That should be fine.
Yeah, there's no urgency to this, right?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
Now, since I've given the petitioner, I'm gonna give him some additional time and give him a cutoff. There will be an additional part of this record that you two, as interested neighbors, can review and submit whatever you want to submit in response. And then I guess you can as well. So let's say November 15 will be I don't even know what day of the week that is. What day is it?
So Friday, are we just doing the cutoff or are we continuing?
No, we're not continuing to a hearing.
November 15th is a Friday.
Okay, let's let the petitioner submit his letter by November 15. And that will be a part of the record. The two neighbors can request a copy of that letter from our staff. You have the contact information. And then if you want to submit a reply or simply say, my position remains the same, you don't have to do that formally. You can, if your position is the same, you can just say no further comments and tell our staff that. But I'm going to give you a deadline of, let's say, 10 days later. That's around Thanksgiving. Yes, sir. You have a question? Mr. Johns?
Excuse me.
You're muted. I can't hear you.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, would they be able to do an engineering study to show that there won't be any water that's gonna be affected into my property by building a structure on top of the lot and or the neighbors? If they did like an engineering study, that would help determine whether or not we would be able to. So I'm just saying, let's skip a step, right? He's gonna submit what he wants to submit, and then we're gonna submit the rebuttal, but really what's.
I'm not gonna ask him to do an engineering study, but I will ask you to confer, it's an issue for me, but I'm not the one that resolves that issue because I'm not an expert.
Yeah,
There are
neither am I.
requirements-
So like, if he wants the subdivision done,
Hold on. There are requirements of the building department and the stormwater department if this property is developed. And you can be in touch with them, and so can you, sir, to understand, what the rules are and how it works and whatever else. And then I will get a follow-up report from them because so far I have no comment from them.
I will tell you as part of this, if it were to be approved, we have to physically move our garage. I don't know if you're familiar with my property, but when they built that back part of it, it slopes down.
Mhm.
So I understand your water concerns, believe me. I don't know if you've ever seen my driveway after it rains.
Mhm. I'm very
Yeah.
familiar. I looked
Um,
behind the property before you did as well,
One
so.
of the things we're gonna do is moving that garage is we're gonna have a drainage folks come in and do an engineering. And we may even put water holding tanks to alleviate some of those concerns. So believe me, the water is a big concern for me too.
I think you'll find, the reason I put you on to the building department and the stormwater department, I think you'll find that's a requirement. And the DuPage County rules are pretty strict rules, so. Hopefully that.
Yeah,
will
if
resolve.
anything, I'm hoping that some of this resolves some of the water issues that we certainly have.
Okay. That's it. Did I give you guys a follow-up date yet? No.
Yes,
You said 10
25th.
days after the
25th.
25th. I don't think that's an adequate, a great time.
Well, you're going in and out.
Yeah, you put yourself on mute again, Albert.
Okay, so I think you should, because November 25th is like what? It's not day after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's a holiday.
It's kind of like a holiday date, so, I
Yeah,
think.
but all I'm asking you to do is to tell me whether you think that his letter, which is a technical issue of what is the hardship. It's not about stormwater. The record's already made on that.
I'm
It's-
just trying to push it out like the, what's it called, a couple of days after, because I don't want to be on day after
Fine,
Thanksgiving
that's fine.
shopping.
Well,
That's-
Thanksgiving is the 28th.
Yeah. I
yeah,
thought-
it's late. Yes,
Okay,
Thanksgiving is.
I'll give you till December 1st because it doesn't affect the schedule as we move forward.
Okay,
So your date is the 25th, your date is what, the 15th?
15.
And then you guys will have until December 1 to simply make a call to the staff and tell us whether anything about this new technical issue of whether or not there is a hardship changes your information or whether you have supplemental information. And
So
then-
that's December 1st is a Sunday, so like,
okay, so
December
send it
2nd.
Saturday.
Okay,
And then my decision will be made on the second Wednesday of December. We'll set this for recommendation on the second Wednesday of December.
Or this,
I'm sorry, the third.
the third Wednesday of December is the 18th.
18th, right.
Okay, yep,
And you don't have to appear for that or whatever. I'm just gonna announce my decision. My decision constitutes a recommendation. I'll make a brief statement on the record, and then there will be a written order or decision that become, along with this record and my recommendation, that goes to the County Development Committee probably in January, and then ultimately the full county board. And I mean, I don't know what they'll do.
Okay.
So that's the process, the timing, and other than that, all I know to say is this hearing is concluded.
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Sessions, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, okay.
If we have, this is, yeah, continuing the public hearing, I have on the agenda, the Casella case, which is 24069. That's a combination of additional variations about lot size again. And it's a Lyle Township case. There is a request to continue this case till November 20, and I will grant that continuance, but absent some very significant circumstances, it's likely to be the last continuance. So again, November 20, 2:30 Zoom conference meeting or in person in this office, which is the Building and Zoning Conference Room. I'll indicate there's no old business, no new business, and so I will now adjourn the meeting.